Welcome, one and all, to ShockCast episode 15. I'm back from the dead. I'm your host, Luke and Taldi. Glad to see you guys. Glad to see Giuseppe. How you doing?
Really?
Oh,
Are you sure
kind of
you're
glad.
glad?
I say I'm glad. You know I'm dying on the inside, but
Take it back right now.
no, keep it
Anyway,
inside.
hello everyone.
Welcome to my new apartment. Yeah, if you notice, I got a backdrop. I'm no longer in my mother's basement, and I have an apartment over in Nashville, Tennessee. If you're in Nashville, let me know. We'll go out, get a drink, play some video games, go to the
What is there
arcade.
in Nashville?
What?
What is there in Nashville? Is there something?
There's my job. There's
Yeah, we don't care about that. Something interesting.
a handful of video game bars.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
barcades. Um, Besides that, not much. Not a lot of developer friends here.
That's great.
But cheap cost of living, and I don't have to share a room with like six other people like in New York.
Okay, no more Nashville commercial now.
No
Let's go
more,
on.
no more. All right. So let's go right into stuff. I want to talk about what we've been playing. Giuseppe,
Yeah,
what have you
what
been
have you
doing?
been playing?
Me? Oh, all
Yeah,
right.
you.
Well, I just got off the bar exam, so I'm kind of getting into all those games that I missed in that absence.
So
Uh,
you've been playing Ace Attorney. I get it.
Inversus just came or is coming out soon. I've been playing a bit of that. No Man's Sky, obviously everyone's been playing that,
Hmm.
and I mean playing. I've been getting lost and enjoying myself, but
Have you left the first planet?
I have left the first planet. I'm like one system away. I don't exactly know what each dot is, but I'm at the next system, and I've been trying to find all of the creatures on one planet. It's been a hell of a ride.
Gotcha.
But that's
Anything else?
everything at the moment. Though it looks like I'm going to be getting Metroid Prime Federation Force by the next day or two. So if you see me
Okay.
slitting my wrists on Twitter, then you'll know it happened.
Okay. Well, I've been playing mostly No Man's Sky
All right.
myself, and I played like, well, first of all, the review is going to be a couple days late because Sony sent it yesterday.
Yeah. Well, the game arguably may still have a lot of big bugs, so I don't blame them for that.
No, at the moment, actually, I didn't find any big bugs. Well,
Hmm.
it could have it before the day one patch,
Right.
but right now it's pretty polished actually. The good thing is that I've been playing a ton of hours already, and honestly, I didn't left the first planet. There is
Yeah.
too much to do.
There's a
I mean,
ton to do.
I'm already too the best thing. I don't want to spoil too much my review. Well, people are already playing it, so who
Yeah.
cares? Anyway, the best thing for now is that the game does not gate you after a certain progression. If you want to get stuff like if you want to max your exosuit, you can
Hmm.
max it all the slots of the exosuit. You can do it on the first planet. You don't need to go around. You can find all the drop pods you want and just expand it there. At the moment I'm like two slots away from maxing it, and I'm going to wait until I max it, and then I'm gonna leave the planet.
Makes sense.
And but I've explored like a ton. Each planet is as big as a real planet. So if you want to just put your base on a planet and stay there for the rest of your life, you can. And I haven't been bored for a minute in there, to be honest. Sure, I didn't do any fighting yet because I didn't.
Really?
Because I'm a good guy. Yeah, why?
No,
The
because
only
I mean I'm just sitting there mining some stuff in the little floating balls. I don't know what their names are. I haven't been keeping up with everything.
you just need to stop mining. I honestly still not sure how they work. Like when you see the little eye icon that comes under you, it means that you're under surveillance, and if they decide that you're disrupting the environment or something like that, so they attack you. So basically, what I do is I stop mining for a second when they come, I let them go away, and then I come back, and then I restart mining, and I fought them once actually. So I fought them. I ran away from them once because they hit really hard, and that's it. But never had problems with that anymore. The fighting starts when you start going out to other planets. My planet, apparently there is no hostile creature. Quite a bit of creatures. Did you find any
Really?
big?
Any big
Did you find any
ones?
big ones?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I've seen some big dinosaur motherfuckers.
Oh, that's nice because those are pretty rare actually. I
Really?
found only one big one, and it's like I needed the dual shockers B giraffe because they had two heads.
Right.
But yeah, if by the way, if you find Planet Dual Shocker Prime in System Dual Shockers, you know where it comes from.
All right.
Anyway, the game is really nice so far. I've been having the time of my life exploring and stuff. I did not expect to have that much fun, to be honest. But
Hmm.
yeah, I've been having really a lot of fun, and we'll see.
Yeah, I actually agree.
By the way,
Yeah.
this is actually Sony this time around actually sent a pretty nice press kit for No Man's Sky. I don't know. There's probably going to be a little bit of reflection,
Yeah,
like
there is. So is it
it's
like a
a
steel book?
it's not steel. It's actually cardboard, but it's like silver, and it
Hmm.
has like No Man's Sky in like it's cut in. And inside it has a book with the art and stuff,
Oh,
and
I have that
and
actually. Yeah.
yeah, and Sean Murray's letter that says
Hmm.
how that is really humbling. By the way,
Right.
I love the guy. He's great. Anyway,
Um.
I'm really looking forward to actually leaving the planet.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to your review. I actually agree with a lot of it. I just came off the bar exam. I've kind of been stumbling looking for a game to get sucked into. Um, and this is the game actually. I didn't think it would be the game. I bought the limited edition because I like tchotchkes,
Because
but
you're rich or something like that.
that one wasn't too. It was like the price of a normal game if you bought it with Amazon Prime with that 20%
Gotcha.
discount. Um, but with that said, yeah, I'm really like I've been at work all day, and all I really want to do is come home and explore and mine some stuff and go talk to some aliens. Dalo has a few things to say about it in the
What do you
chat.
say?
He says I'm enjoying it. I found a planet covered in blue flowers. I've been spending my time looking for lore and maxing out my hyperdrive.
Actually, my planet Dual Shockers One, is a toxic planet.
So you have to
But
always
in the
keep going into
comment
the menu,
section.
right? Oh
Hmm?
God. Um, All right, so we're gonna ignore the hate on the comment section, and
No, but the fact is that the game is absolutely incredible. I will give it bullet point. It's probably go in the review. The No Man's Sky is a blessing for my nerves
mhm.
because it's really calming, but it's really a curse for my OCD. Because God, I can't move. There is a spot there. Oh my God, let's go there. There is another spot there. Oh my God, let's go there. Oh, there is another one there. Oh,
Oh, the
I'm
green question marks are the
bounce.
death of me.
Yeah, I've been bouncing between them for like hours and hours on end. It's just too fun. There is too much to discover. And
Yeah,
I've already discovered 50 words. Oh, I'm an interpreter.
50. Damn, I'm at like 15, and I was happy with that.
I
Though I'm
use
yeah, though I imagine you played much more than I have. Um, yeah, so
Okay.
let's
Let's move into the.
the
Oh, by
topic
the
of the
way,
show.
I've also played a bit of Black Desert Online and a bit
Always
of. Oh, by the way, I played a lot of Hearts of Iron 4. I just published a review after a month and a half late.
good or bad?
Good, good,
Good.
very good. If very good if it's your thing,
Right.
because you have to be the kind of gamer that is uh, attuned with the grand strategy games. Otherwise, you will die. You will rip your hair off really because it's very complex. But if you are that kind of gamer, and maybe you like to like explore alternate story scenarios, because like every nation can go, if you set it that way, can go array completely. Like you can have fascist America, imperialist England. You can have democratic Germany. You can kick Stalin out of the USSR and be the Republic actually
Of
you can
Giuseppe
connect with the Tsar and everything. Huh?
the Tsar of Giuseppe Stan.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, you can definitely have like you and the AI can definitely do some very interesting alternate in history scenarios that are very nice to just play.
Hmm.
It takes a ton of time, It's the kind of game that if you don't set your alarm, you're not going to go to work in the morning.
Right.
But it's nice. I appreciated it, and that's why I'm late. The review was late because honestly, it was my very first grand strategy game review, so I had to get acquainted with all the mechanics and whatnot, and I had to play it quite a bit to be sure that everything that I actually was very well acquainted with all the mechanics and all the ins and outs of the game. It's not very accessible, that's for sure. And the only big flaw it has is that it really doesn't have any in-game explanation of what happens. Like you have to go into the wiki to discover most of the stuff, which is a
Yeah.
problem for that kind of game. But that's the only big flaw it has. The rest is great.
Right.
Anyway, go on. Let's talk Gamescom.
Yeah, we're not just a game reviews podcast. Topic of the show is Gamescom. We are very, very close to Gamescom at this point, and we may be the first Gamescom major podcast at currently because of we're doing it a bit early.
Are we a major podcast?
I say we're major.
Maybe.
We're tied to a big site.
Okay. The guy has a big head. Sorry, forgive him. I'll humble him later.
All right. Anyway.
We
Um,
are a growing podcast.
growing. Yes,
That's how you
growing.
say it.
All right. So, topic of the show, Gamescom. Let's talk about Gamescom a bit. This is not you're going to Gamescom. I'm not going to Gamescom. This isn't your first Gamescom, of course. So,
No, I've
can
been to a ton of Gamescoms.
how
I've
many?
actually been to Gamescom before it was Gamescom, and it wasn't in Cologne yet. It was in Leipzig.
Mm.
But it's a very different show from E3 for
Why?
a simple reason that E3 is a press show through and through. Lately, they've been opening a little bit to the public, but normally, if you're not part of the press or the industry, it's hard to get in. Um, Gamescom is like Tokyo Game Show is a consumer show mostly,
Mm-hmm.
and also Party Games Week. So you have your first day that is a press only, and normally all the press stuff happens between Wednesday and Friday. But from I think Thursday, the public is allowed in. Actually, the biggest part of the show is for the public. They can go hands on with the game, and there is lots of crowd. And for me, it's more fun
All right.
because you can actually see more stuff in well basically there is two parts. You go to all the appointments for the press, you get hands on, you get whatever the interviews and all the press only stuff. And it's also nice to just go around and see people playing the game, see how they react. You don't get that at E3. You don't get the people's reaction. The people's reaction you get it from the conference. You get in the comments on the news. Maybe you see that with the PlayStation experience. You see them at the from you see like on YouTube the video reactions from
Yeah.
the theaters. But at Gamescom and at consumer shows like that, you see people actually enthusiastic, happy to actually get to play the game. There are some companies that are more open with the games, like they show them
Mm-hmm.
all playable and all. And there are companies that are a little less open with the game. Like Microsoft is awesome at Gamescom because they are really, really, really open. They everything is playable. They have a ton of stuff. They have a big booth with a ton of demonstrations. Well, for instance, Sony this time has like three big games playable, and the other ones that they have a lot of VR stuff, but to get into the VR, trying VR is a little difficult because there is a lot of there aren't very normally, at least I don't know how it's gonna be this year, but I can't imagine they're gonna have like million PlayStation VR
Very
units.
unlikely. Um,
So I'm not sure how much people will actually manage to get hands on with PlayStation VR there. But Microsoft is probably the company that does it best there. Because they really have everything playable. They don't have, well, almost everything. Like last year, for instance, they didn't have Scalebound playable,
yeah.
which I was very sad about because I still want to play that demo and they still didn't let me. And I'm sad about that. But
So
uh,
you've been comparing it to E3. How does it compare to, let's say, Tokyo Game Show?
same thing. Well, same thing. It's not in Japan.
Right.
Tokyo
Okay.
Game Show is a little different because, and I'm going to go there but as well on September. But it's a little bit different because it's Japan,
Yes.
and that's not just because Japan is awesome. It's because Japan is quite different in the way people do things. So
Hmm.
even how people behave at the conference is different. Um, there are some cultural differences as well. In the fact, for instance, in Japan, there are still a lot of boot babes that they are called boot companions and are very very respected in Japan. Actually, they actually have their handlers that, and if you try, for instance, Tokyo Game Show to take a picture from I don't do that from an angle that is too low. Like if they see you crouching to take a picture from below, they immediately home on you like a sidewinder because they don't want you to take upskirt pictures of the girls. Um, and in Germany, there isn't very much of that anymore. There is a little bit. It's still more than that in the US, but not much anymore. And there are also how hands-on is handled, how filming is handled. There are very, very many differences between them, but mostly in just how people behave, how let's say that Tokyo Game Show is like 90% a consumer show. Gamescom, so most of the stuff is for the actual customers. Tokyo Game Show, sorry, Gamescom is let's say 40-60. It's 40 for the press, 60 for the customers.
Right.
While E3 is like 10, 90-10 is 90 for the press and 10 for the customers.
Right.
So that's kind of the big difference there. You could say that Gamescom is pretty much equal to Paris Games Week at the moment. With the difference that now the big ones have shifted, seem to have shifted the conferences to Paris Game Week because Gamescom is too close to E3. Even if you don't know yet if they're going to have conferences at Paris Game Week, but we know that they're not going to have conferences at
Gamescom.
Gamescom.
Yeah, that's a bit disappointing. I always thought that Microsoft always killed it at Gamescom.
Mm.
They were the ones I always look forward to.
Oh, we're still going to see stuff.
Oh, I
Uh,
know, but
they actually they don't have a conference, but they have a big showcase event.
right.
Well, they have two events actually. The first event is they're both on Tuesday, I think. Well, I'm sure about the press one. I'm not sure about the fan one. They have the big showcase on Tuesday afternoon, which is for press only. They have like 6 hour, no, 4 hour showcase in which you go in and you can try all of the games without the queues. And I actually have an interview with a pretty big Xbox executive. I'm not going to name it for now, but they're gonna say it on the side when
Right.
it happens. I'm gonna have it on Tuesday, um, and it's not going to be Phil Spencer because he's not going to be there this year, unfortunately. Because it's always nice to chat with him. But I'm excited because I'm going to play quite a few games there that I really want to play. I'm wondering if Scalebounds will be playable. Hopefully, I don't know. They didn't tell us,
Cross your
but I
fingers.
really want to play it.
Right.
And then after that showcase, in which they will have all the big lineup they already showcased so far for the year. They're gonna have the Gears of War. They're gonna have all the stuff, Forza Horizon, which is gonna come in September. So yeah, they're gonna show it playable. Um, but they're gonna have a lot of stuff there, and they're gonna also have a fan fest in which people are gonna have to line up early. I don't know how early, but it's open to everyone. So I think it's gonna be a first come first serve. Uh, but it's going to be pretty much the same thing, but for the public.
Right.
So if you are in Cologne, and if you want to try the Xbox stuff on Tuesday, I think it's on Tuesday. Uh, you have to go early and try. They have a page in which they explain everything, but I would advise it because I've seen it happen. The funny thing is that last year they had the press thing and the fan thing in the same venue. The venting was just afterwards, and it was after the conference, and I was writing news, and I wasn't finished, and they had like Phil Spencer dressing the fans that they came into the theater in which they had the press conference, and I had the Microsoft PR guy tell me, "You have to go, you have to go, you can't stay, you can't stay. I just
Hmm.
finished writing this piece of news, please, please." So I've seen a little bit of that too, but it's
Right.
a lot of fun. If you are an Xbox fan and you are in Cologne this week, definitely try to get in because it's a lot of fun. They also give swag and stuff like that, so it's great. For an Xbox fan, that's probably the best event to go. Besides the other fan fest and at E3 and whatever.
Right.
Uh, then after that one, by the way, what are you looking for Microsoft?
For me, for Microsoft, I'm with you. I really want to see Forza a bit, and I know they're going to have that there with how it's coming out. But I remember that there was a ton of news about Forza, and I think that they have a lot more to show off for it. Kind of. Let me think. What else? Let's move on. I think I'm more excited for Sony stuff, and that's just because
Ah,
that's what I've been
well, Sony
waiting
Sony
for.
they have a booth, but they don't have event at all. Like they
Right.
don't have any events. They actually have and most of their games besides they actually have Titanfall, I think there. They announced it today. They have Titanfall. Let me see real quick.
There's a whole article about it. I could find it. I'm sure.
It's on the PlayStation in the German PlayStation blog.
Yeah, that's where I saw that.
Let me see. Okay. De Spreiding PlayStation blog.
Beautiful.
Found it.
Yeah,
Sauerkrauts.
most everything looks like it has a very heavy VR focus. They're really, this is the time that they have to start getting it in everyone's minds, even though it's all sold out, right? The first run is for the most part all sold out.
Oh yeah, here it comes. They have a GT Sport playable. That's interesting, and definitely going to be happy if I can get my hands on it. And
Right.
then the other two games they have playable, actually not non VR games. I mean, are just Titanfall 2 and Destiny the Rise of
Rise of
Iron.
Iron. Yeah.
Yeah. The rest they have Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and Mafia 3. They're all like projections. They are hands off. So yeah. Oh, they also have some other things in the PlayStation track, but they are not big ones. They have Killing Floor 2 or Agami Niho. That's interesting. But we are going to have access to the demo. It's probably going to be the same beta demo that's gonna come soon. So it's I wouldn't queue up for that if I was there, because it's gonna be there like very the demo the alpha the beta is going to be released very soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have Gravity Rush 2 playable. That's interesting. That's something I will queue up for.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm actually very much looking forward to see the coverage of PlayStation VR. I want to see how much they're still focusing on it, and
Oh, the
really, yeah. I mean, I think it's the big push, and there are a lot of things in here that I want to see more of. I want to see more Resident Evil 7. Not just the demo teaser that we saw. I'm hoping that we see a little bit more of that.
I
Uh,
actually have an hands-on with that.
oh,
So
great. So we can look forward to that.
in VR, it could be the same demo that is on that
Right.
was on 83 though. So I am not sure. I'm actually pretty interested in trying VR,
Yeah.
but for me, still, it has a lot to prove. I don't know if it's the same for you. Not the VR part, the fact that it doesn't feel like Resident Evil at all for me.
Oh, okay, the Resident Evil thing. Yeah, I mean, I haven't considered it really a Resident Evil game too much. It feels when I played it a bit Outlastish, um, which isn't a bad thing. I really enjoyed Outlast, but it's not Resident Evil, and that might be a good thing. The last few Resident Evils I played, I didn't get into. I got into the original 1, 2, 3, 4, even though 4 was definitely different. So I don't mind the change.
Well, yeah, I guess I guess the true. But at the moment, we have a lot of like plain horror games. If you think about it.
On PC, definitely.
I mean, okay, yeah. I'm a multi-platform gamer, so
Yeah.
I don't really get the difference of platforms. But ultimately, yeah, I guess. But I would like to have a Resident Evil that feels like Resident Evil, that feels like the first few Resident Evils, not
Right.
just like not the
Exploring the mansion.
instead of just you know instead of just remasters of the old Resident Evils, which are okay, but yeah, I played them. I don't need to play them anymore. Uh,
Right.
I'm
Also,
just gonna give a little bit of an advice for the ones that got to go try VR.
yeah.
If you try Headmaster, make sure you hold your PlayStation VR while you do it
I can only imagine people are
because
flinging it across the room.
that is problematic. I can tell you firsthand. But
Right.
yeah, but there is going to be quite a few. If you want to try PlayStation VR and you want to have a great experience, between the ones that are there playable, I would advise to get to try Eve Valkyrie and um, what
Riggs?
and Riggs.
Yeah.
Riggs is what sold me on PlayStation VR. Riggs
Riggs
is
looks
awesome.
very impressive.
Yes, it's great. Guerrilla is Guerrilla, so not surprising. But
Hmm.
yeah, I really hope that I get to try that again because it's fun. It's fun as hell. But yeah,
Yeah. Dalo has something to say about Resident Evil. Of course, if you have anything to say about any of the games we're bringing up, just mention it in the chat. He says that Resident Evil does feel like Outlast. Personally, I think this game will not. We won't know about it until it's out. So yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it might just be the demo that feels like Outlast. Maybe when you're playing it more, you feel
awesome.
more of the zombies.
Give me a gun at least, maybe with very little ammo, but at least give me a gun.
Yeah. I mean, there were
Okay.
some weapons in.
Yeah, but they didn't feel like they just didn't feel like they belonged there. I mean, the whole demo felt. I didn't play it on PlayStation VR. I played it on the PS4.
Right.
It kind of felt like it was mostly just a walking simulator in a horror environment.
I have a question. Did they ever?
I'm not. I have nothing against walking simulator. I love them, but
Right.
sorry, but
I don't know about this because I've been out of the scene for a bit. Did they ever solve the demo? Like, did they ever figure out what you do with the finger? Did
I
that
have
ever?
no idea.
Okay. All right.
I
So
honestly gave up after like half an hour or so. So,
right. Yeah, I
but
remember it was a
I will
big
play the
mystery
VR
thing.
one and see how it is. I've heard a lot of people that were a little sick of it,
Hmm.
and not like sick of it because it's bad, just physically sick.
Yeah.
But I normally don't get sick with VR.
Yeah. I the
My
few
first experience
times.
with VR was Eve Valkyrie on Oculus like 3 years ago, I think, when it still wasn't optimized, and that was disorienting. But I still beat the ass of every other press people that was in that match.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't very good. It wasn't because of me, but because of them.
That's
Anyway,
something I've learned is a lot of the times games press, even though we're playing games a lot of us aren't actually very good at playing games.
well, I'm not very good at a lot of kind of games.
Oh
Like
yeah, fighting. Nope, can't do
uh,
it.
yeah, fighting exactly. I think the producer of Street Fighter Five, during like cold nights in which he responds to criticism stuff like that, he still remembers fondly the moment in which he gave me two perfects at Tokyo Game Show, um, and basically everyone was like smiling at the like,
Right.
like this. Who is this idiot? I
All right.
am bad at fighting games, like really, really bad. I'm sorry.
Well, that's everyone. I mean, the only not fighting game I'm good at is Smash, and that comes with a huge asterisk.
In fact, I'm going to see Injustice 2,
Hmm.
and my schedule is a little tight. So they asked me if I could like shift something to put in a like a hands-on section. I couldn't, and I just told them, listen, it's okay if you just give me the presentation because even if I get hands-on with it, eh,
Yeah.
I just gonna
You're just gonna button
humiliate
mash.
myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, uh, I'm sorry. I'm really bad,
No, we have people
which is
on
why
the
I don't
team.
talk about them.
Yeah, exactly. We have people on the team who are good at those games. That's the important
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, but not me.
No.
I like them. The funny thing is that I like fighting games. I like playing the story mode because of
Hmm.
the story, and I have fun playing them. But they're just so bad that as soon as I get into multiplayer, I get destroyed.
All right, we're kind of meandering here, so let's
Yeah.
let's bring it a little bit back.
So EA,
EA.
let's talk about EA because they also have a big event. EA right after the Xbox showcase on Tuesday, they actually have to gonna have they don't have a press conference this year, but they have a big grand opening event which is going to be
Hmm.
live streamed, by the way.
Okay.
um, and they have a lot of stuff there. But the most important ones are definitely Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1,
Right.
which are the one-two punch in for this fall, which I'm excited for both of them very very much. I don't know about you.
Um. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I never really got into Titanfall. Not that I
This
gave
one
it
is a
much of a.
story.
Yeah, this one has story. I might get into this. It was just at the time there were too many games out that I couldn't sit there and focus on a FPS that I knew I was going to be awful at. Um, yeah, the only thing I just can't get energized about EA, and I know they have a lot of interesting stuff coming up, but until I see more Mass Effect, that's all I want to see.
I don't think they have any
They
big Mass Effect
definitely don't.
games.
Yeah, I'm not
Uh,
expecting it.
Maybe they will if it's a surprise, but I don't know. I don't expect much. They have teased that they're gonna show something about Star Wars,
Okay.
but and this was in their schedule.
Never seen Star Wars, so
But I'm not sure if it's going to be like the one I'm very interested in is the one by Visceral Studio with Hammy Henning.
yeah.
But I don't know if it's gonna be that, or I doubt it because they already showed some talked about it a little bit at Star Wars Celebration, or it's going to be just Star Battlefront 2's last expansion that is going to be tied to the next movie,
Right.
something like that. Or they like the mobile games, the mobile game that I don't like at all, which I'm going to ignore, of course. But I don't know. They have a big event though. If you want to see it, you can because it's live streamed, and it's going to be live streamed on Tuesday, starting at 7 p.m. local time, which means that it's going to be 1 p.m. EDT and like 10 a.m. PDT,
Right.
depending on where you are in the US. So that's it. And I also have big meeting with EA in the morning of Wednesday, but that's
Yeah,
just a
of
press.
course.
So I'm going to look at their stuff, do interviews, talk with the developers of Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1, and stuff like that. I'm
Right.
actually very, very eager to ask them some question.
Awesome. All right, so
So what's next?
let's talk Ubisoft. I got a small list of things that they're bringing. They
Ubisoft
have
have quite a bit. It's
yeah.
not
No, I'm
small.
I'm very excited for Ubisoft. They have For Honor, Steep,
Yep.
Star Trek Bridge Crew, an Eagle Flight, as well as some demos of South Park: The Fractured But Whole, Tom Clancy's.
Come on, don't say that.
I'm trying to keep the straight face with it. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands and Watch Dogs 2. There's at least 3 or 4 games in there that I'm dying to
Yep.
play.
Yep. I'm definitely going to go hands on with quite a few of them. So I'm definitely very excited to play Watch Dogs.
Okay.
And I'm even more than that. Sorry, Watch Dog fans. I know it's not as big. I'm very excited to go hands on with For Honor
Everyone.
because
Everyone is.
that's awesome. That's just oh my god. That's basically for me. That's Mountain Blade done with better graphics and with a
Hmm.
story. Mountain Blade is awesome for me. I know a lot of people that are console players here don't know about it, but it's going to come out for PS4 and Xbox One. Um, it's basically a medieval combat RPG sandbox, whatever, So For Honor loses the sandbox, but it still has the that combat in which you actually have to choose in which direction to parry. It looks very visceral, so I'm happy. Talking about Mountain Blade, I'm hoping to see something new as well at Gamescom for that one.
Hmm.
But yeah, they're gonna have quite a lot of things at Gamescom. This is probably the first Gamescom in which don't have an Assassin's Creed, which kind of feels strange.
Yeah, that does honestly feel missing. I guess they're filling that hole with Watch Dogs.
Butthole. I
Um,
did that. I went there.
yeah, at South Park, I mean, I'm very excited for that. I think that they've done a great job with, yeah, they did a great job with the previous game, and
I'm
uh,
sure. I hate South Park, so
both of the creators said that they learned a ton in the development of the game. So this next one is supposedly going to be much better, though. We have to wait and see.
yeah,
Um,
it's South Park, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would play it.
yeah. Um, all right. Do we
I mean,
know?
I'm sure it's a great game. I've seen it. It looks like a great game. I've seen
Right.
the first one, but it's just South Park. I can't stand it. Like it's so
Some people are like that.
abused. Yeah, they're all Americans.
All right.
Sorry, that was very bad of me.
Are you going to stop by the Nintendo booth at all?
They don't have much for the press.
Okay.
That I'm definitely gonna try to play Zelda if it's there.
I'm looking
Uh,
at what's on the list right now. They have Super Meat Boy, so everyone's played that. Severed, Jotun Valhalla Edition, World to the West, Steam
mm-hmm,
World Heist,
mm-hmm,
Axiom Verge,
mm-hmm.
and that's everything for the Wii U, so nothing to get super excited for.
Mm-hmm.
3DS, Mario Party Star
So wait,
Rush.
they don't have Zelda?
Supposedly not from the materials I have. Um, it'll be playable behind closed doors.
Ah, okay.
So you may still see it,
Well,
but
we have already played it at E3, which
yeah, we did.
I mean, it's gonna be the same demo for sure.
Yeah. For 3DS, Mario Party Star Rush, Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, Dragon Quest VII, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice, Monster Hunter Generations, Rhythm, Paradise, Pirate Pop Plus, Azura Striker Gun, the small stuff. But of that group, I'd really like to play Phoenix Wright.
Like the demo, it's available online.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Japanese, but it's not like you can play much at a trade show anyway.
That's a good point. They are long episodes generally each, so
I think that's probably one of the games that least applies itself to a trade show for demonstration purpose because it's really not much of a demo material, I guess. But yeah, the I'm gonna step there and see what they have, of course. Even because I do have to give them a best Wii U game, best 3DS game. That's gonna be fun.
yeah. I mean, best
And
of luck
we have
for it.
our DualShockers awards for the show, and we'll have to have those as well. So we'll have to find something which has been
I
different,
just
difficult for
imagine
us.
that's torture for you. Just going to a
No, it's not. I
Nintendo booth.
don't. Hey, you need to
No,
understand.
I know you don't hate Nintendo. I understand that. You
They
just
have it's that the problem is that lately they don't have very many like big games or like games that are very much very meaty. So it's very possible that the best 3DS game is possibly going to go to an indie because indie developers are doing some good stuff on the 3DS.
right. The
Of
only
course.
the only first party I think is Mario Party, and any
Mm.
mobile Mario Party game has been pretty.
We'll see.
Eh.
Of course, I'm going to see them and I'm going to see what happens. So I'm surprised.
Right.
But it's not torture for me. The problem for me is that Nintendo never has this big presence at conferences. At times they seem not to care.
Right.
So they really don't bring some very interesting stuff there. I don't know why. Like first, a Tokyo Game Show, they aren't even a Tokyo Game Show, which is their home,
That
their
is
home
bizarre.
show. but they have never been there. They always refuse to be there. So I have no idea why. So don't ask me. Uh, some people say that it is because they're from Kyoto, and so there is this rivalry between East and West. But I don't know. It's not torture. The problem is that it's always difficult to find what to give awards to for those platforms because
Yeah,
like I had trouble giving finding something to give a best Wii U game award at Tokyo Game Show, in which theoretically there should be a ton of Wii U games. There wasn't.
should be.
Yeah.
All right,
Well, Wii U's dead. Maybe we're not going to see
we're gonna
anything.
see the NX soon. It's coming. Let's just hold our breaths until then. So
I really hope the rumors about the NX are like totally wrong because if they aren't, it's going to be another disaster. But
I
anyway, this is another
that's a
story for another
conversation. Yeah. All right.
for
So
another time.
next, who else do we have?
Okay, so I'm going to have some a interview with the developers of Black Desert Online.
Okay.
Actually, for this time is going to be the actual developers from Pearl Abyss, not the publishers. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be asking them some questions about what they're planning for the future and whatnot. Then I have quite a lot of Microsoft stuff during the show, which are the usual games that you already know.
Right.
I'm really hoping that there is something about Scalebound. I don't know, but that I hope so.
Yeah.
And there is stuff about a few developers that I can talk about, so I won't talk about.
Right.
So forgive me if it sounds that there are some big holes in this thing. So because very possibly that something I can talk about is there. I'm going to be very excited to to get a look at Dawn of War 3, Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 3, which you console guys probably don't care about, but it's a very interesting RTS for me. Um,
All right.
there is quite a bit of Bandai Namco,
Yeah.
which uh, which
Over there
is
is it
going.
Namco Bandai's or Bandai Namco
Oh, sorry.
everywhere?
No, it's Bandai Namco. It's Bandai Namco, but for everyone now.
Okay.
Uh,
I know for the U.S. for a while it was just Bandai. It was Bandai
yep.
Namco.
Unfortunately, Atlus USA is not gonna be there. Uh,
That's a bummer. Atlas always is a great show.
they may have something with their publisher Deep Silver, but Atlus itself is not gonna be there. Then we have let's see, quite a few indie. I'm actually quite interested in that because they always have something interesting to show at Gamescom.
All right.
And there is a lot of stuff for Square Enix. They have their whole JRPG lineup, and that's exciting for me.
Fairly substantial. All right. So here's
Yep.
my question. We
Yep.
generally have some sort of major announcement or, somewhat big announcement or some surprise in Gamescom. If you have to make a guess, what do you
Hmm.
think this Gamescom's winning surprise announcement's going to be?
I think we're not going to see many actual game announcements,
Okay.
like, but we're going to see a lot of the games that have already been announced, which honestly, for me, call me crazy. I'm less excited about. Oh, by the way, I also have a lot of Activision as well.
Right.
They're going to be there with Call of Duty and Destiny. I'm actually going to try. I'm not sure if I'm going to manage. I'm actually going to try to have a chat with Theodore Kruzaki, which is the narrative director of Call of Duty, because he worked at Naughty Dog. I really want to ask him uh, what he is going to bring from his experience at Naughty Dog into the narrative of Call of Duty, because that's a very interesting aspect for me. I'm actually pretty interested in taking a look at the new Destiny expansion, because I've been big into Destiny until I just got tired of it, and I would like to see if it brings me back into it.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, as I was saying, I'm very interested. I'm more interested in actually seeing the meat of the games. When there is an announcement of a new game, you don't see much meat. You
Hmm.
see maybe a little bit of gameplay. You see a little bit of most of a lot of cinematics, a lot of talk, but the gameplay, the pure meat and bones gameplay, you see it after a while when the game is already announced. So I'm excited to see quite a few games. Like one that I really am excited to get my hands on, if possible, is a Sea of Thieves,
Yeah.
because that sounds just fun.
Yeah,
Looks just fun, and I didn't play it yet.
at E3, I didn't actually like the showing for it, but I know when I see it, I mean, that might just be how they presented it, but
But
I,
they showed the actual fan playing. They had a contest, and
right. It was,
got people.
was it fans or was it YouTubers?
No, no, it was fans. It was
Okay.
people. People grabbed the. It was a contest. I think they did
Yeah.
in UK. So they just called people from that contest, and they made them sign an NDA, and they made them play and then filmed them. They were
Yeah.
a little bit enthusiastic, I will admit, but
Right.
the game
But I could
sounds
tell the
fun.
underlying game actually
I mean,
looked
it was they were
fantastic.
so enthusiastic. Sorry, they were so enthusiastic that it seems like it seems staged,
Yes.
because you say no one can be that enthusiastic while playing a game, right? Like they were like they kind of looked like. Um, Sorry, someone said there the biggest thing VR is sold out, limited stock. Oh
Oh
well.
no, we'll talk about that in a second.
Um, Sorry, I was reading chat. But the fact is that that presentation looked a lot like the happy smiling families of Nintendo commercials, right? And you
Yeah.
say this is super fake, right? But I
Right.
think they this one they were so enthusiastic that it kind of sound look at fake, but it actually I'm pretty sure it's true because the contest was public, so there really isn't much to say about it, and the game just looks that fun. Maybe it could be just a honeymoon thing, like they are super rare fans, the people that went there, so they were maybe a little bit more enthusiastic than they would that normal gamers would be, but
Right.
they were like rare is also an interesting place in its own because they have their studios pretty much look like a playground. They look in the middle between a playground and a Luna park.
So like a Banjo Kazooie level.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I believe it. I think they were really that enthusiastic. They were really that having that much fun.
Right.
Because come on, you're governing a galleon on sea. I mean, there are some games that did that on a smaller level. I played Archie, for instance,
Hmm.
which is an MMORPG that has galleons in it, and you can have your big galleon going around with your guild, with your crew on it. And I remember the first time I played it in the beta, I was that enthusiastic. I was like, "Hey, this is so much fun! This is the best toy I ever played with." And if you go see my preview of it, you'll see this that the galleon was the best toy I ever played with for me.
Right.
So I'm sure those people were feeling like that. You have a galleon and you're governing it with with your friends that are your crew, and it's fun. So
Yeah.
that's the big one for me.
I'm going to tie it right back into No Man's Sky. Like, I think if
Okay.
I was watching people play No Man's Sky, I mean, I'm playing it and I'm making a ton of dumb, stupid comments. Even,
Hmm.
I'm not even streaming it. I just make those comments at home to myself. I don't think I'd have fun watching
Do you need
people.
help?
Yes, I do. But I don't think I'd have fun watching people play No Man's Sky. That
Oh,
being
it's fun.
said, I can totally see myself. I absolutely know I'll have fun with it. The same I see with Sea of Thieves, where
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
sure I could watch people play it, but it's definitely a game I know I'm going to sink a bunch of time
okay.
into and have fun with my friends.
I don't know if you've seen the videos we posted on the site. You were a little busy because you had the bar exam
Yeah.
with all the weather and the lighting and the world that looks alive, and it's like, oh, well, my God, I want just I want to play it as a walking simulator, just going around
Right.
and
All
explore that world.
all right. So we're gonna wrap up Gamescom. We actually have a fan requested, a reviewer requested topic that let's just touch on it very briefly.
Yeah, what is
In lieu of 8-bit idiot, he says he wants to talk about this upcoming Sony event that's coming up about a
Well,
month from
I
now.
was planning to talk about it more in a future event, but we really don't know nothing about it for sure. I mean, we know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be PlayStation 4 Neo, or however they're gonna call it.
Okay, so you
For sure.
definitely think it's that.
What could it be? Oh yeah, we
Trinity?
called you here in New York for to tell you how many units the PS4 have sold. So
Right.
look at this pretty graph to see how the sales of the PS4 have climbed in the months, and it's a very successful enterprise for all of us. No, that's done. You can go home.
How about the Trinity stuff that came out today? Do you think that might make a
That's no. Well, they could be, but honestly, those things. There is a reason why it has not been
yeah?
reported on our site, which is that those documents they have absolutely no mention of the PS Vita. It could be related, and I'm not denying the
Counting it out.
possibility.
Yeah.
But the Trinity thing actually was a rumor that came out a little bit like earlier in the year, so people just made a connection with it. But those documents say absolutely nothing.
Right.
So beware if you read things that tell you stop showing your e-phone, whatever it is, your e-watch, whatever it is.
Fitbit.
You what's that
Nothing.
unclassy thing?
What?
Anyway, what's that unclassy thing? It looks like you have some patch and it looks like you just came out of the hospital. Anyway,
What?
it looks
All right.
like you've just come out of the hospital.
Okay,
Like
with
it,
this. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it
Anyway,
does look awful.
yeah. Anyway, fact is that we don't know. I don't expect the PSP anything related to PSP there. Could be surprised. I would be happy. I would be happy.
Love my
I would
Vita.
be there. I love my Vita. I still have here my number one Vita, and I'm not touching it right now because I was trying to pull it out, but it's actually under the cable of the webcam, so not a good idea.
Right.
But I don't expect them to do anything anymore for the Vita. Could be a
Yeah.
surprise. For me, is all Neo.
It's better to
Is
keep expectations low with that. So if there is a surprise, we're just as excited as you are.
yeah. One thing that I'm actually wondering about
Mhm.
is whether the Neo is going to come out with the specs that were rumored or something different. Personally, I'm pretty sure that Sony has upped them. I don't know how much. Could be a little bit, could be a little bit more than a little bit. But if they weren't like planning to respond to Scorpio with upping the specs some, we'd have probably seen it at E3.
All right. Last question with that, and it ties into what you just said. You wrote an article previously about these half-step iterations.
Yeah.
Do you think that with them going away and just working on this a bit, and they might have added, they might have some better specs. Do you think that it's going to outperform the stated specs for the Scorpio, or
Oh, well, the state. First of all, we gotta see if this Scorpio is going to be as powerful as people say. Well, he's gonna have 6 teraflops, but 6 teraflops it's a number. 6 teraflops is like a GTX 970. It's not that big. They're talking about true 4K gaming. Well, they're gonna have to juice those 6 teraflops a lot to get through 4K gaming on big games, big games with great graphics. So
right?
we'll see how that works. But I don't think that they can go as high as Scorpio,
They
just
also don't
because
need to. They have more brand loyalty at this moment.
that's not just that. It's simply the fact that Scorpio is something that I plan to ask as soon as possible to anyone at Xbox that like enters my range. Scorpio has a problem, which is a problem that any of these consoles have, which also a problem with PS4 Neo. Uh,
Yeah.
all those consoles have that problem, which is that to avoid alienating early adopters, they have to make just a half step. They can't go full step. They can't go and say, now I'm going to make games only for Scorpio or only for PlayStation Neo. So I'm going to use the specs of the Scorpio and of the PlayStation Neo to their fullest. They
Mm-hmm.
cannot, because they need to maintain um, compatibility with the previous consoles. So yeah, it's going to be great because they're gonna have scalability and all that. But it's basically going to be like cross generation games.
Right.
Because if you see the games that have to support Xbox 360 and and PS3, the jump is pretty much the same. So we are gonna have an improvement, but it's not going to be a generational improvement. It's going to be a cross generational improvement. So I don't expect them to make such jump, and we'll also have to see something else. Will third-party developers actually put a big effort in actually using the specs of the biggest of those consoles, or they're going to just
Right.
settle
I'm
for
sure
the
it depends
smallest?
on the install base.
It depends on a lot of things. It depends
Right.
on the price also,
Yeah.
because say PS Neo comes out this year. I don't know if it's going to come out this year. Say it comes out this year and it's priced at 399. Hypothesis. I have no idea. Then say Scorpio comes out next holidays
Mm-hmm.
for like 499 or something like that. I don't know how many people are going to buy it that much, because if a console start costing over $500, then it starts, at least to me, it starts to be um, tempting to just buy a PC.
Right. Yeah, it
Uh,
will be.
it's something that for me, at least, I would think twice. Uh, I'm excited for Scorpio, but I'm excited for every piece of technology that comes out. So
Yeah.
that's pretty normal. Like for me, you say power and you say yes, please, give me more.
All right. One last question. This one's just yes or no. Okay.
Hmm. No,
Dalo Arlance says, uh, on September 7th is the same day as Final Fantasy VII's release in 1997 in North
seven.
America.
Oh, that's an old game. That's
Yeah,
retro gaming.
super retro. All right, so it's the same
Yeah,
day as
maybe
the
they're
release
gonna
in
show a little bit
1997.
of the Final Fantasy VII remake. Could be.
You think we're gonna see it?
Well, they are going to show games to showcase them.
Oh, they're gonna have to.
They're gonna have to, so they're gonna have to show some games. Some people are rumoring that we're gonna see Deep Down.
Oh,
I don't know. First thing, as soon as I can catch a Capcom person, I'm going. Is Deep Down still in development? I asked them a million times, and I'm going to ask them a million times more. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm expecting to see some games to showcase the Neo and what it can do. I don't know which ones, but if there is an anniversary, so it's possible. Of course, it's a PS4 console exclusive for now,
for now.
uh, so it could be definitely. So far, it has been used to promote the PS4.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they shown it with the Neo. We'll have to see. It's a big if, because we really know nothing about the event. They say that they're going to, like, the invitation simply says that they're going to talk about the PlayStation business. So it could be anything. It's gonna be the Neo for sure. But other than that, your guess is already as good as mine, and I don't like to really shoot in the dark, honestly, because
Right. Okay. So let's go into the wrap up. Let's talk the upcoming games coming out this week. On the
hmm
11th, we have Ambition of the Slimes on 3DS. Also on the
oh, oh
11th, Tadpole Treble for Wii U, and One Night in Karazaz, a Hearthstone adventure for
oh
Android, iOS, and PC.
yeah.
Then we have nothing
I'm
in
I'm clean. I'm clean of
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
Yeah, I've.
I've been addicted to it for a good like 3 days.
Oh, lately or
No, I mean
okay,
for
just
3 days. I played it at launch, and it really got me for
yeah.
3 days. Then it's like smoking. I smoked for 3 hours in my life, and then I quit. And
Right.
I played Hearthstone for 3 days, and I quit.
You just got to quit that cold turkey. Okay, and on the 16th, we have Bound for PS4, Grow Up PC,
Great game.
PS4, and Xbox One, Dungeon Punks for Vita, and Valentino Rossi the Game for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Go Vale! Yay!
And that, I believe, are all the upcoming games this next week. It's a pretty light load.
Well, it's summer. Come on, what do you want?
Yeah. And we do have some big ones coming up. We're getting into the fall season very slowly. All right, so if you're looking for DualShockers, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just go and look DualShockers. You'll find us. We're probably the first people. On YouTube, we're slightly different. We're DSTV Originals. If you want to come watch and be part of the show, join us every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. at twitch.tv/DualShockers Live. That's 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I gotta say that now because I'm Central. Finally, you can find the round-the-clock news coverage, reviews, features, editorials, and those interviews that are coming up that Giuseppe had mentioned for Gamescom over at DualShockers.com. And that's everything. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of my glorious return. And thank you, Giuseppe, for being here.
Okay, so, well, see you everyone, and happy No Man's Sky. Have fun with it.
Yeah, everyone.
And by the way, if you find yourself on Planet DualShockers and on System DualShockers, send us pictures via Twitter or whatever. I want to see people exploring my planet. It's my planet.
You know, I'll up the ante. If someone actually finds the DualShockers planet, gets on it, and we can, it says that it's from Giuseppe, I will buy them the game of their choice.
DualShock.
Wait, what?
It actually says DualShockers.
Yeah, but I think it says who claimed it and, the right date and time. Right. So if you get that, I will get you a game of your choice.
This guy feels generous.
Hey, I just started a new job, so we're on a budget.
So
anyway,
you mean that you're rich now?
Rich.
Can I use you?
You already do. Anyway.
Oh my god, that sounded so dirty. Okay.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Let's go into the song. Bye.